All right, this one's wild. After weeks of total silence and online chaos, Erika Kirk, yes, that Erika Kirk, has finally broken her silence about the rumors linking her to JD Vance and the alleged tension between him and his wife Usha. Now, she didn't drop a full statement or a sit-down interview. Instead, she posted something so vague and so cryptic that people aren't sure whether she just shut down the speculation or poured gasoline on the fire. Because remember, this isn't just gossip anymore. These are divorce rumors involving a sitting politician, a widow who's been in the spotlight ever since her husband's tragic death, and a viral hug that people swear changed everything. So tonight, we're breaking it all down. What Erika said, what people think it means, and how this entire saga has turned into one of the most talked about political scandals of 2025. To understand why Erika's response matters, we've got to go back to where this all started, that Turning Point USA event in Oxford. The room was packed, cameras everywhere, and Erika took the stage to introduce JD Vance. Nothing unusual, they'd worked together in conservative circles before, but what came next felt off. In her speech, she said, "No one will ever replace my husband, but I do see some similarities between him and JD." And right there, you can literally hear the shift in the audience. A few polite claps, a few murmurs, and then she turns, smiles, and gives JD this long, emotional hug. It wasn't a normal greeting. It wasn't a handshake or a polite pat on the back. It was a moment, one that would explode online within hours. Clips hit Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. People were analyzing her body language, JD's facial expression, even the way Usha, his wife, wasn't in the frame. Some said it was harmless, two people showing support after loss. Others called it weirdly intimate, tone-deaf, even rehearsed. And from there, the internet did what it does best. It built an entire storyline. Within 24 hours, that hug was everywhere. Headlines like "The Hug That Sparked a Political Scandal" and "Erika Kirk and JD Vance, Too Close for Comfort" started popping up. On Reddit, people started dissecting everything. They pointed out how Erika lingered on JD's arm, how he pulled her in like they'd done this before, and how she kept smiling even as the crowd got awkwardly quiet. Then TikTok jumped in. Creators were doing slow-motion breakdowns, lip-reading their whispers, claiming Erika said, "You remind me of him." Now, there's no proof of that, obviously, but that didn't stop the theories. And once a story starts trending like that, it takes on a life of its own, especially when Usha Vance, JD's wife, completely disappears from public view right after. So here's where it gets eerie. After the Oxford event, Usha just vanished. No new photos, no public appearances, not even a repost from JD's political pages. She'd been by his side for every major event before, but suddenly, nothing. And the internet noticed immediately. People began saying her silence was telling, that she was embarrassed, or even that she was done playing the supportive wife. Others argued that she was protecting her privacy, but let's be real. Silence in a media storm is basically an accelerant. Every time Erika appeared online, smiling in a podcast, speaking at an event, comment sections filled with "Where's Usha?" and "Does she know?" And that's what made Erika's next move so explosive. After weeks of non-stop speculation, Erika finally posts something. It wasn't a statement, it wasn't even a denial, just a single sentence on Instagram stories that read, "It's crazy when kindness gets mistaken for something else." That's it. Within minutes, screenshots flooded X, Reddit, TikTok. Everyone instantly assumed she was talking about JD. Some people thought she was defending herself, saying the hug meant nothing. Others said it sounded defensive, that she was playing the victim. One viral tweet said, "If you have to say it's kindness, it probably wasn't." And honestly, that's when this whole thing went nuclear. Because now Erika had spoken, but in a way that felt like she was confirming there was something to hide. Here's where things get suspicious. The timing of that post. JD had just been trending again for another clip, this time from a recent panel where he awkwardly laughed when asked about how he balances family life with public pressure. He said, "Marriage is complicated, especially when you're under a microscope." People lost it. Commenters immediately connected that line to everything going on with Erika, saying it was a soft admission that things weren't okay with Usha. Then, 2 days later, Erika drops that cryptic kindness post.
It felt coordinated, even if it wasn't, like she was trying to calm the storm, but ended up confirming the whole plotline. At this point, the internet was completely divided. One half of people think Erika's being unfairly dragged, a woman grieving her husband, just trying to live, and being villainized for showing basic affection. The other half, they're convinced she's hiding something. TikTok users stitched her hug with slow piano music, calling it the beginning of the end. Reddit threads claimed there were leaked texts showing Erika and JD had been talking privately before the event, though no actual proof has surfaced. Still, in the world of online speculation, receipts don't even matter anymore. If the story feels real, it becomes real. And when you add politics into the mix, that narrative snowballs. JD Vance isn't just some random public figure. He's a sitting senator, a future presidential hopeful, and someone who's built his entire image on faith, family, and traditional values. So this isn't just drama, it's potentially career-ending. If voters start to see cracks in that family man image, if this story keeps trending and people start believing there's truth behind the rumors, that's serious damage control territory. Insiders are already saying JD's team is in panic mode, quietly monitoring mentions and downplaying questions from press outlets. One anonymous source even told Politico, they can handle policy scandals. Personal scandals are what kill campaigns. And now, the person at the center of it all, Erika, is both the problem and the proof. This is where things get even wilder. Body language experts, or at least self-proclaimed ones, started posting analyses of Erika and JD's interactions on stage. One viral TikTok claimed JD's micro-expressions during the hug showed conflicted attraction. Another said Erika's hand placement was a subconscious sign of attachment. Meanwhile, a so-called lip reader on X claimed Erika whispered, "I'll see you soon." Again, zero proof, but that didn't stop millions from watching. Even mainstream news outlets picked up these posts. And when traditional media covers online gossip, it automatically feels more legitimate, even when it's pure speculation. It's like a feedback loop of suspicion. Now here's the thing. Usha still hasn't spoken, but people online are convinced she's sending messages through her silence. A few fans spotted what they claimed was her liking a post about self-respect and setting boundaries. Whether it's true or not, it went viral instantly. Others said she's quietly staying with family in Ohio, avoiding the press until things cool down. And that silence, that quiet grace, has actually made people rally around her. She's being seen as the wronged wife, the dignified one. One comment with over 100,000 likes said, Usha doesn't need to post. Her silence is her statement. It's poetic, but it's also brutal, because in a situation like this, public sympathy matters. And right now, Erika's losing that battle. One post on X with over 7.4 million views referenced the clip. No one will ever replace Charlie, but I do see some similarities of my husband in JD. Vice President JD Vance, says Erika Kirk, widow of Charlie Kirk. These words seem out of place, much like her leather pants. Before all of this, Erika Kirk was seen as a voice of positivity and faith. But ever since Charlie's death, her tone online has changed, and people have noticed. Her Instagram has gone from spiritual quotes to moody, black and white photos. Her captions sound more defiant, almost like she's fighting a war no one can see. And this latest, kindness mistaken post, it fits perfectly into that new persona. The misunderstood, resilient woman who refuses to explain herself. Some say it's calculated. Others think it's just grief morphing into self-protection. But either way, it's made her the most talked about woman in conservative media right now, for all the wrong reasons. A few insiders who've worked with both Erika and JD at past events told reporters the two have always had strong chemistry. Now, that doesn't mean romantic, but it does mean that people in the same orbit notice something: comfort, familiarity, or maybe even admiration that blurred professional lines. One source said, they just understand each other. They both lost people they looked up to. They're both in high-pressure environments, and it shows. So whether this is emotional proximity being twisted into scandal, or something deeper that no one's admitting yet, that's the part no one can quite figure out. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, PR teams are scrambling. JD's spokesperson allegedly advised him to stay focused on policy and family values. In other words, pretend it's not happening.
Erika's side seems to be leaning on faith and subtle messaging, hoping that her post will be seen as graceful instead of defensive. But the internet doesn't forgive ambiguity. If you don't give a clear no, it assumes a quiet yes. And that's what's so fascinating here. Both JD and Erika's silence has turned this from a misunderstanding into a full-on mystery. So why did Erika's short post cause such a big stir? Because silence builds pressure. And when someone finally breaks it, even with one line, every word feels loaded. That one sentence, "It's crazy when kindness gets mistaken for something else," reads like a denial, but also a jab. A little too defensive, a little too vague. Almost like she's saying, "You're wrong, but I won't tell you why." It's not confirmation, but it's not closure either. And that's the sweet spot where speculation thrives. So, what now? If the divorce rumors are true, or even half true, JD's image takes a massive hit. If they're false, then this is one of the most intense overreactions we've ever seen online. Either way, Erika's name will forever be linked to this story. The hug, the quote, the silence, it's all part of the same narrative that people won't stop replaying. And maybe that's what she meant in her post, that once the internet decides who you are, it's impossible to change it. So yeah,
Erika Kirk has finally broken her silence. But whether she cleared her name or made the mystery deeper depends on how you read between the lines. Was this all just misinterpreted grief and kindness, or is there really more to the story than anyone wants to admit? Either way, it's clear, this story's not over. Not even close. Let me know what you think down below. Do you believe Erika's explanation? Or do you think she's just trying to control the narrative? Because something tells me this isn't the last time we'll be hearing about Erika Kirk and JD Vance in the same sentence. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.